Sunday, a postseason edition, as the Bills victorious over the Kansas City Chiefs 37-14 in their first playoff game right here at Rich Stadium. Next week, of course, the Denver Broncos coming to town for the AFC Championship. But in just a minute, you'll hear from Bills coach Marv Levy, Jim Kelly, Bruce Smith, members of the Kansas City Chiefs, as they talk about that big Bills victory. We'll be back with more of Bills on Monday right after these messages on the Empire Sports Network.
Sports Network congratulates the Buffalo Bills on their big victory over the Kansas City Chiefs on Sunday and wishes them good luck in the AFC Championship game against the Denver Broncos.
Bill Barth Stadium, but just yesterday afternoon, over 80,000 people screaming their lungs out, helping on the Buffalo Bills. And right now, let's take you down to the weight room to hear from Bills coach Marv Levy following that very exciting victory.
There was a definite improved play by the other guys on the field over the previous game. Kirby Jackson turned in a great performance. Leonard Smith, Hicks, they played together a while longer. And the guys that did play before and were out there when they got pushed around had some pride at stake to play better this time. They did.
Did the previous game have any, against Kansas City, have any effect on the preparation? Was it a motivator today?
No, winning in order to advance is where your motivation comes. All of that revenge stuff takes your mind off what you have to do. If you run around yelling revenge, I said it earlier in the week, revenge and bonsai and all that stuff, you don't concentrate on what's their play-action game like and a realization of how good they are and how strong they are and how physical they are is important. I think one of the things was possibly overlooked in this game is how good our running game is. You know, we rushed for more. We only rushed one rush per game fewer times than they did. They averaged 32.5 rushes a game. We averaged 31.5 rushes a game. And I think maybe there was a little bit of an overlooking in the discussion of this game. You go in that we've got a good rushing attack.
Was Thurman 100% coming in?
He was fine. He had a full week of practice. He had a full week of practice and seemed fine. Mm-hmm.
More three-step dropping early in the game than the first game.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think so. It depends what pass we're calling, the depth of his drop. So I don't think so.
Talk a little bit more about your passing approach today. I knew you threw a couple of long and early, way long, and then you seem to settle into more of a medium and short.
It depends the coverage he reads. Depends the coverage you read. If you know you've got some real good single left coverage out there, you tend to go long more. Take the chance on pure one-on-one coverage. Maybe nobody in center field, but you got to protect well during that time. Our line did a great job of protecting. Earl Wolford playing that bad ankle against a great player like that. I can't tell you how much credit he deserves. And Howard Ballard, because he was over on the other side a lot, too.
You got some early thoughts on that?
No, not really. Not really. I didn't. I just said, well, we'll get going on them tomorrow morning.
Mark, coming out in the second half, did you go into a running mode at that time, or was that?
No, not immediately. We didn't feel we wanted too quickly to go out of what we were doing. Now, in about 10 minutes left in the game, I think a 30-7 lead, we began to say, let's start to run the clock and be in the huddle a little bit more. At the end of the third quarter, we did, simply because we wanted to run what few seconds there were off the clock and turn around and have the wind if we had a punt or had a field goal opportunity. We didn't want to punt or try a field goal into the wind, which was not strong, but it was brisk enough.
Now, when we were up a couple of touchdowns and Kelly started passing more, do you feel that was a psychological reason as far as Kansas City was concerned to keep changing their defense?
No, I thought we had to keep doing it. The game just, take a look at yesterday's game. Thought we had to keep doing it. I felt it was important that we keep the initiative and not too quickly pull in our horns.
Mark, you said that your running game you feel is overlooked. Is your defense maybe overlooked too when you talk, you look at rankings and things like that?
Our defense played exceptionally well today. This was, I'd have to say, their best performance of the year, and it's good to see. And when I say our running game's overlooked, I don't want that misinterpreted. I don't think it has been. I think we've run well, and there's been an acknowledgement that we run well. What I was saying was because of the tremendous potency in the Kansas City running game, I think there was the feeling that only, by many outside observers, I don't think Kansas City felt that way, that the only one team in the game has a running game, and that wasn't the case.
What about one more, Danny?
Marvin, say to explain in a nutshell why the defense played so much better against the run, putting more pressure on the vertical bag. What was the explanation?
You know, I can only give you a partial answer, and I wish I could come right to the point. They did. I think there was a heightened degree of preparation awareness, just a heightened degree, because of the playoffs, because of the fact that they knew how potent the Kansas City running game was and how much we had been handled by them the last time. I just think they played their responsibilities pretty much without error.
Looking back, I mean, you wouldn't have lost that when you won it. Might it have actually been good in the long run?
Never good to lose. Never good to lose.
We gave game balls to the offensive line, but one guy we had to give a game ball to, he's a tight end. He wound up playing guard and then went out and played tackle, Pete Metzler, so he demanded a game ball too, so we had to give him one.
Jim, we had you hit on it twice. Is that about right?
Sounds good. Maybe one or two more, but at times I held on to the ball a couple extra seconds, which I usually do sometimes, and I paid for it. But in this game, it was just a matter of getting the time to throw and open the holes early on. It was the running game was sputtering a little bit. They came ready to play. It's just a matter of getting in the right play, right time. We had to loosen them up a little bit, which we did. We thought one thing we had to do today was go deep on them some to make sure we did loosen them up and have them respect our long ball.
What gave you the confidence that that long ball was going to be there?
But watching film, we had a feeling that, it's hard. We respect the defensive backs from Kansas City, but I had a lot of confidence in my receivers that with the speed that they have, that we can beat them deep. It's just, it's hard to cover Andre Reed one-on-one. Every once in a while, a guy's going to do a good job, but I had confidence in Andre, and the two times that I saw them in one-on-one situations, I audibled to the right play, and both times they turned out to be touchdowns. So I guess playing at home, it makes it a little bit easier.
What happened on that play making that
Oh, it's the right burst a sec again, but it's really not a problem. It's not something that won't keep me out of the game. It's just one of those things that when you get it bumped, it burns for about 20, 25 seconds, and then calms down. But every time it gets bumped, it's just going to be like that for the rest of the season. Just have to get a long off-season rest.
When you were up 14-zip and you had things going your way, and there was a play where Ross almost picked it off, do you just, what goes through your mind when that happens, or do you just try to pull it right?
Well, one thing you have to do is, like I said, we respect what they do. They're good players, and I made a couple mental mistakes, like the one that Deron Cherry intercepted deep when James said he thinks he can beat him on Nate, and there I am listening to my receivers calling the plays, and I wound up calling it and wound up throwing the interception. I said, James, don't give me any more plays. But it was a mental mistake on my part. I predetermined what I was going to do with the ball, didn't even look at Deron, and chalk one up for them as a mistake on my part. But the other one was just good play. He came up real quick and almost intercepted it.
How big a difference?
Reed today twice, obviously manned up against them. Do you feel like eventually in the course of the game you're going to be able to hit a deep pass anytime you play when you're playing against some man coverage?
Well, you do, but I think we hit some good plays on zone coverage too, and at times they were dropping back, and we were able to get the plays we wanted when they were playing zone. So I think the play calling today, I thought I did a good job. I think the reason I did is because of the five guys up front giving me the time and opened the holes up once the game got rolling, got it a little bit established, got that passing game going. It loosens them up a little bit. Are they going to pass or are they going to throw? So I think it's just a matter of getting in the right play at the right time.
How big an impact does BB have getting him back in the lineup?
Well, Don's speed, I think anybody in the National Football League will know Don Beebe's speed. I think if they don't, they're doing the wrong thing by not respecting him. He's probably the fastest guy we have on our team, and he's great hands. He came on. I got to take my hat off to both him and James Lofton, but especially Beebe having a broken collarbone, being able to come back and make some of the catches he did today. So it was a good job by both him and James.
What was it that Scotty made for
It was excellent. I just did my usual thing with Mark Stout from 97 Rock, and I just had to start out with saying that it's nice to see Scotty get into that rhythm again, because everybody, people get down on him, but I've never been down on him. It's Scotty's out there, and if it comes down to it, we need a kick. I have confidence in he'll do it, but it was nice to see him come through, especially the long one.
Jim, were both touchdowns to Andre the same pattern or
No, it's different calls. No, they're just man-to-man patterns. It's just a matter of him beating him. I can't tell you what the play was, but yes.
Jim, Denver next week. You talk about the Broncos' best defense. What game is
Yes, I watched it in between first. I didn't watch the first half because I was too busy watching film of Kansas City at the house. It got me excited, but I said, I can't watch this. I got to go study. So I went back in my own room and watched some more film of Kansas City, and then I came out the second half, and you saw vintage John Elway. He came on when he had to, and their defense is playing very good. They're strong. That's why they're probably number one. We're going to have our work cut out for us. It's just a matter of studying the way we have been, knowing what got us to this point now. It's a lot of hard work and determination, and it's just a matter of coming out, home field again, see what happens.
One more question.
I just have a solid defense from Mecklenburg to the other guys that plays around. They're just very solid. They don't make many mistakes, and they're aggressive. I guess you look at them and you look at some of the tougher players. So I'm just going to celebrate a little bit tonight and get ready and get busy tomorrow for the Denver Broncos.
Give it a while to get back in the rhythm.
It takes actually getting the hell knocked out of you before you actually wake up. Some of my techniques I know were a little stale and rusty, but I just wanted somehow in some way to make my presence known on the field and hopefully do some things that'll disrupt their offense.
Before the city came on, you kept on edging toward the middle and trying to get some inside rushes.
Well, we had some keys on them, and they were trying to take away our outside rushes. So we felt that it would probably be best if we got the pressure up the middle, and I think we got the pressure up the middle through our linebackers, and at the same time, Cornelius did a great job coming around the corner. Well, because of the percentage that I am, and I keep saying I'm about 80%, that's close enough. But I really felt that on that particular play, all week we had talked about putting that defense in, whereas I would go on the center, and we were only going to do that according to how I felt. And some crazy notion in my mind said that you're okay and you could do it, and I was able to get a little pressure on it, but I believe that was a play they called me offsides. But I had to come out after that play because it was too sore to go anymore.
Could you sense that you're running out of plays this game?
Pardon me?
Could you sense that time you're running out of plays beyond the field?
Well, I believe once we got up about 2 touchdowns on him, I immediately went over to the coach and told him that if we score again, I need to come out. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it.
They can never get the run game going today, could they? I mean, that was the key.
Well, that was the key. I'd said all during the week that the way to stop the Kansas City Chiefs is to stop the run, because if they can't run the ball, they're not going to be able to play action pass off of you. The play action pass is set up through the run, and if that didn't work, we pretty much felt that we stopped about 80% of their offense.
Were you surprised they didn't take more chances? I know one time they had the ball at midfield, like 2nd and 2. They ran into the line, and on 3rd down, they ran into the line and then punted the ball. I mean, they were already down, but they didn't try to do some different things, even
they could have possibly tried to do that, but at the same time, that works both ways. If they would have gotten stopped on 3rd or 4th down and the plays that you're talking about, we would have had excellent field position, and in the way that our offense were going, they were pretty much unstoppable today.
First, you talk about Denver. Thoughts about playing the Broncos next week?
John Elway. I tell you, this guy's amazing. I have a lot of respect for him. He does whatever is necessary to win the ball game. He never stops fighting. I mean, I have the highest respect and the highest regard for John Elway.
What do you feel about your prospects in playing next week?
In playing? Oh, I'll play. There's no doubt about that.
Bruce, what do you remember about the Buffalo-Denver game a year ago, I think it was 77 seconds? Remember that?
Yeah. Well, they had our backs up against the wall. They actually had the ball game won, and I think we were able to make some plays special team-wise and defensively that put the ball back in the offense's hands, and we were able to do some things to get some points on the board. So we're definitely going to have to get started in the first quarter. We cannot wait for the second and the third quarter to start rolling, because by that time, Denver would have already put some points up on the board. Well, I didn't practice during the week.
Yeah, I know. Not being able to practice, not practicing, how difficult is it to loosen up?
Well, it's very difficult because of the fact that I need to get repetitions in practice to be able to react to certain plays and be able to make certain tackles. So it's difficult in that aspect.
When we come back, we'll hear from more of the Buffalo Bills and also a few of the Kansas City Chiefs. We'll be back with Bills on Monday right after this on the Empire Sports Network. Now let's take you inside the Bills locker room to hear from members of the team that was victorious over the Kansas City Chiefs 37-14.
I guess there was never any doubt in my mind that I was going to be able to play. It was just a matter of how well it was able to respond, and trainers took good care of me, and I was able to play as well as I could today.
Did you guys see this as sending any kind of a message to anybody? There was some talk in the locker room about earning respect and proving a point at all today.
Not really. It's a game. We wanted to win it, and wanted to try and get to the next round, the AFC Championship game, and the goal will just be to win that game. I don't know how you go about sending a message. You just try and win.
Monday.
Oh, we heard. What's this thing we heard about an X-ray before the game and everything?
No, I mean it was. There was still doubt. I kind of knew it though I was going to play, but there was still doubt that if I could have withheld a big shot, and after the final X-ray, I knew I was going to play. But after Kevin Ross caught me on that one and threw me right. I mean, he threw me right on my shoulder too, and it kind of just stung for a while. And it was just a situation where I just came out playing and then came right back in. I really didn't want to sit out anything this game, and I missed the playoffs last year, and I'm just glad to be back and able to participate in this year's.
Well, you don't want to sit and read, not against this type of defense. You want to go attack, and that's what we did. We didn't sit and read a lot. We knew the assignments that we had to do, and we went after it.
Were there any turning points in this one from a defensive standpoint?
I can't think of one right now. I just know that every time they came out and tried to run the ball, we pretty much stopped them. And, I can't say enough for our defensive line. I mean, people have been saying that we can't stop the run. Well, having 250, 260-pound backs come at you, we stopped it.
How did you stop it, Jeff? What did you do to stop the run today?
Nothing new. We just went after them. We didn't run anything special. In fact, we run our same defense that we've been running, and we just went after them.
As long as we win, people saying, well, they're going to run the ball. And I made a statement, that if they got 600 yards rushing against us, as long as we won the game, it wouldn't matter. As our ranking in during the season, finished 27th in defense, but, here we are playing for the championship game, so it don't matter at all.
I got better than 27th, though. What do you think? I mean, it's...
Yeah, we're 14-3, man. So, to me, right now, we're number one because, there are 12 other teams, 13 teams now, something like that, waiting around, and here we are playing for the championship again.
How'd you shut down the run today? What did you guys do to stop it?
Well, we were very determined. First of all, the offense came out and put some points on the board for us, so that made them had to play catch-up, and, we took them out of running mode. Made them pass the ball, and we got some good hits on the quarterback throughout the game.
Try to explain to people that you really concentrate and keep your head down, kick it good, and sometimes when players from the opposing team come in and flash in your vision, your reaction is try to keep them off your legs and just react that way. I'm no way attacking anybody out there, especially somebody as large as Moss. That's silly. It's just
Did he talk to you?
Self-defense, and he felt like I was maybe a little over-aggressive. Surely I didn't put any big hit on him, but he felt like I was maybe stepped over the line, and that's fine. That's part of the game. The emotions run high out there at times. I had a few words. I can't remember what they were, but again, he has to understand that it's just a reflex reaction on my part.
The fans were doing the tomahawk chop, and after you nailed a long field goal, you did your version. Was that in response to maybe what they were doing to you?
Well, it was biggest thing there, I would say, just tapping in with the crowd, emotion of the game, having success out there, and I'm very excited to be kicking the ball good, and that was just my way of enjoying what was going on at that time. No way it was directed at anybody personally, as far as Kansas City, the team, or anybody. So it's just something that comes to mind. Came to the minds of 80,000 people in our stands there today. So it's just something that came out there.
From the standpoint that we're a young football team, having the opportunity to play in this game was a big step for us. You know, it never happens as fast as you would like, but you know, with this experience, we just go back to the drawing board, and next year we have one more step under our belt.
When you look back at this football game overall, what stands out? What will you remember about it?
Well, the fact that we didn't get it done when we needed to. You know, we experienced success on defense. Then we had some downfalls on defense. Offensively, we never really got it started today. So, you know, it was a matter of being, I guess it was just like the reverse role from when Buffalo came to us, and the crowd noise and the offense never getting the opportunity to be in a rhythm. You know, I think it was similar to that.
Was Jim Kelly that much better today than we saw him 3 months ago?
No, he was the same quarterback, but this time the only thing was our offense had pressure on them all day, as opposed to this time that didn't happen.
I think they played very, especially their defense. Their defense played very well. Their offense, you know, was able to get into the rhythm. I think because Jim was able to listen, hear out there, and be able to make some audibles and call some plays. And I think he felt a little more comfortable. Their defense was outstanding. You know, in this business, anytime you get to this level, it's, you know, your offense has to be good, but I think it's defense that wins championships for you. And their defense stood up today, especially after what took place at Arrowhead early in the season. And you got to give them credit. Our offense could not establish anything all game long. And you cannot give this Buffalo team that many offensive possessions in the football game and expect them not to score points. They're going to put their numbers up there eventually.
Well, the Bills did it. They moved on to the AFC Championship game. The Denver Broncos coming into town. And we'll be back to wrap up Bills on Monday right after these messages on the Empire Sports Network.